Tonight we are entering one group from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Four countries, four flags, four different cultures, and four different football stories meeting in the same group. In this video, we will travel calmly through the countries of this group. We will not only look at the teams, we will look at the countries behind them, their cities, their food, their traditions, their famous places, their football history, and the important players who will carry their hopes onto the pitch. Because in the World Cup, every match is more than a score. Every country arrives with memory, identity, culture, and millions of people watching from home. So take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and let's begin our quiet journey through this World Cup group. France is a country in Western Europe, a place of elegance, history, food, art, mountains, coastlines, villages, cities, and one of the deepest football talent pools in the world. Its capital is Paris, a city of cafes, museums, old streets, fashion, lights, and famous monuments. But France is also known through many different places: the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, Versailles, Nice on the Mediterranean coast, Mont Saint-Michel rising from the tides, Lyon with its food culture, and the French Alps with their snow peaks and mountain villages. To understand France, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine croissants in the morning, fresh baguettes, cheese, coq au vin, ratatouille, crêpes, macarons, and a wine culture connected to regions, land, and tradition. You have to imagine small bakeries, long meals, stone villages, vineyards, art galleries, coastal towns, and streets where history and daily life often feel connected. France feels like a country of style and memory. It carries royal palaces, revolutions, philosophy, cinema, fashion, literature, food, architecture, and a strong sense of cultural identity. It can feel elegant and intense at the same time, calm in a cafe, but powerful when the national anthem begins. This is the culture France brings to the World Cup. Football in France is built on talent, athleticism, technique, and variety. The national team is known as Les Bleus because of its famous blue shirt. When France plays, it carries not only one style but many influences. The country's football identity comes from cities, suburbs, academies, overseas roots, immigrant communities, and generations of players who turned individual quality into national strength. France has one of the strongest World Cup histories in modern football. It won the tournament in 1998 at home with a team that became a symbol of national joy. It won again in 2018 with speed, structure, and a new generation. It also reached the final in 2006 and 2022, proving that France has become one of the great tournament nations of the modern era. France also carries legendary names: Zinedine Zidane, Thierry Henry, Michel Platini, Patrick Vieira, Lilian Thuram, Didier Deschamps, Antoine Griezmann, Hugo Lloris, and many others help shape the meaning of the blue shirt. And now, in 2026, there are important names carrying the story forward. Kylian Mbappe is the captain and the face of French football, a player known for speed, finishing, confidence, and World Cup memories already written into history. Ousmane Dembélé brings dribbling, creativity, and danger from wide areas. Michael Olise adds elegance, left-footed quality, and fresh attacking imagination. Aurélien Tchouameni gives the midfield strength and control, while Eduardo Camavinga brings energy, technique, and flexibility. William Saliba and Dayot Upamecano give the defense power and composure, and Mike Maignan brings authority in goal. In 2026, France arrives with expectation. This is not just a talented team, It is a country used to pressure, used to deep tournament runs, and used to being judged by the highest standards. So when France steps onto the pitch, remember this. You are not only watching 11 players, you are watching croissants, art, Paris lights, alpine mountains, vineyards, royal palaces, football academies, world champions, and Les Bleus carrying one of the strongest football cultures on earth. And now we move to another story from this group. A different flag, a different culture, a different football rhythm, another country, carrying its own history, its own flavors, its own places, and its own dream. Let's continue. Norway is a country in northern Europe, a place of cold landscapes, deep fjords, mountains, forests, fishing towns, northern light, quiet confidence, and a new football generation carrying big expectations. Its capital is Oslo, a city of museums, water, modern design, and calm Nordic life. But Norway is also known through Bergen, with its colorful harbor and rain-soaked streets, Tromsø under the northern lights, the Lofoten Islands, Geirangerfjord, the long coastline, and the fjords that cut through the mountains like giant blue roads. To understand Norway, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine salmon from cold waters, fårikål, brunost with its sweet brown flavor, lefse, waffles, and seafood shaped by the sea. You have to imagine cabins in the snow, fishing boats, quiet villages, icy air, mountain roads, and skies that glow with green light during winter nights. Norway feels like a country of nature and silence. Its identity is shaped by the sea, the mountains, the cold, and a calm way of life. It does not always need to be loud. Strength in Norway often feels controlled, patient, and steady, like a landscape that has survived storms for centuries. This is the culture Norway brings to the World Cup. Football in Norway has often lived in the shadow of stronger football nations, but the country has always carried discipline, physical power, and team spirit. Older Norwegian teams were known for direct football, strength, and organization, but the new Norway feels different. It has more technique, more attacking quality, and more global attention than ever before. For Norway, the 2026 World Cup is emotional because it marks a long-awaited return. The country had not appeared at the tournament since 1998. That means a whole generation of Norwegian fans grew up without seeing their national team on the World Cup stage. Now that wait is over, and now in 2026, Norway arrives with names that make the world pay attention. Erling Haaland is the central figure, one of the most dangerous strikers in football, known for power, speed, positioning, and ruthless finishing. Martin Odegaard is the captain and creative leader, a midfielder who brings vision, calm passing, and intelligence between the lines. Around them, Norway has more attacking weapons. Alexander Sørloth gives height, strength, and goal threat. Jørgen Strand Larsen brings movement and finishing. Antonio Nusa adds dribbling, speed, and youthful confidence. Oscar Bob brings technical quality and imagination. In midfield, Sander Berge adds control and physical presence, while Julian Ryerson and Christopher Ajer bring defensive experience and structure. Norway also remembers older names like Ole Gunnar Solskjær, John Arne Riise, Tore Andre Flo, and Ronnie Johnson, players who helped build the country's football memory before this new generation arrived. Under coach Ståle Solbakken, Norway enters 2026 with belief, but also with pressure. This is no longer only a hard-working underdog. This is a team with world-class talent, a modern attacking identity, and the feeling that it can hurt almost anyone. So when Norway steps onto the pitch, remember this. You are not only watching 11 players, you are watching fjords, mountains, cold seas, salmon, northern lights, quiet confidence, a long-awaited return, and a new Norwegian football generation carrying a dream onto the world stage. And now we move to another story from this group. A different flag, a different culture, a different football rhythm, another country, carrying its own history, its own flavors, its own places, and its own dream. Let's continue. Senegal is a country in West Africa, facing the Atlantic Ocean, a place of music, color, hospitality, coastal life, deep history, and one of Africa's proudest football identities. Its capital is Dakar, a city of movement, markets, traffic, art, ocean air, and football passion. Senegal is also known through Gorée Island, with its painful historical memory, Lake Retba, Saint Louis with its old colonial streets, the Saloum Delta, and the beaches along the Atlantic coast, where fishing boats, music, and daily life meet the sea. To understand Senegal, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine tiboudienne, rice and fish cooked with vegetables and deep flavor, yassa with onions and lemon, mayaf with peanut sauce, fataya, bisap, and grilled fish served near the ocean. You have to imagine colorful fabrics, street markets, drums, dancing, family gatherings, and a culture where hospitality is not just a word, but a way of life. That word is teranga. It means welcome, generosity, and warmth. It is one of the most important ideas in Senegalese identity, and when Senegal plays football, that same spirit travels with the team. Pride, dignity, energy, and a feeling that the whole country is standing behind the shirt. This is the culture Senegal brings to the World Cup. Football in Senegal is powerful, fast, emotional, and full of belief. The national team is known as the Lions of Teranga, a name that carries both strength and hospitality. It is one of the most beautiful names in world football because it combines courage with warmth. Senegal's World Cup story became unforgettable in 2002 when the team shocked the world by beating France in the opening match and reaching the quarterfinals. That tournament gave Senegal a permanent place in World Cup memory. It showed that African football could arrive with courage, rhythm, and no fear. Senegal also became African champion in 2021, winning the Africa Cup of Nations and giving the country one of its greatest football celebrations. That victory confirmed what many already knew. Senegal was not only talented, it was mature, organized, and ready to carry expectation. And now in 2026, there are important names carrying the story forward. Sadio Mané remains the emotional symbol, a player known for speed, sacrifice, goals, and leadership. Kalidou Koulibaly brings defensive strength, authority, and experience. Edouard Mendy gives the team calmness in goal. Pape Matar Sarr adds energy and modern midfield quality, while Lamine Camara brings creativity and confidence. Nicholas Jackson gives the attack movement and direct threat. Ismaila Sarr brings speed on the wing, and Iliman Ndiaye adds technical quality and imagination. Senegal also carries the memory of past heroes like El Hadji Diouf, Papa Bouba Diop, and Aliou Cissé, names connected to courage, history, and the rise of Senegalese football on the world stage. In 2026, Senegal arrives with pride and serious ambition. This is not a team coming only to participate. It is a team that knows it can compete with big nations, suffer through difficult moments, and still believe. So when Senegal steps onto the pitch, remember this. You are not only watching 11 players, you are watching music, color, Atlantic beaches, Tiabadian, Teranga, African pride, World Cup memory, and the Lions of Teranga carrying a nation's heart onto the world stage. And now we move to another story from this group, a different flag, a different culture, a different football rhythm, another country, carrying its own history, its own flavors, its own places, and its own dream. Let's continue. Iraq is a country in Western Asia, a place of ancient rivers, deep cultural memory, sacred cities, old civilizations, emotional football, and a World Cup return full of meaning. Its capital is Baghdad, a city shaped by history, literature, trade, faith, and the movement of the Tigris River. But Iraq is also known through the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Babylon, Najaf, Karbala, Erbil, and landscapes that carry the memory of some of the earliest civilizations on Earth. To understand Iraq, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine masgouf, fish cooked slowly by the fire, dolma, kuba, Iraqi biryani, klecha filled with dates or nuts, and strong tea served with warmth and patience. You have to imagine rivers that shaped human history, old markets, family tables, religious cities, ancient stones, and stories passed from one generation to another. Iraq feels like a country of memory. It carries Mesopotamia, one of the great foundations of human civilization. It carries the legacy of writing, cities, empires, poetry, faith, and survival. Its history is beautiful, heavy, and deep. And because of that, when Iraq appears at the World Cup, the story is never only about football. This is the culture Iraq brings to the World Cup. Football in Iraq is emotional, proud, and powerful. The national team is known as the Lions of Mesopotamia, a name that connects modern football to the oldest layers of the country's identity. When Iraq plays, the shirt carries more than 11 players. It carries memory, pain, joy, hope, and a nation that has waited a long time for this stage. Iraq's World Cup history is rare but meaningful. The country appeared at the tournament in 1986 and then waited decades to return. So the 2026 World Cup is not just another qualification. It is a comeback after 40 years. It is a moment of emotion for players, families, fans, and Iraqis around the world. And now, in 2026, there are important names carrying this story forward. Ayman Hussein is the experienced striker and one of the symbols of the team, known for his strength, finishing, and importance in qualification. Ali Al-Hamadi brings energy and attacking movement. Ali Jassim adds creativity, speed, and youthful confidence. Zidane Iqbal gives the midfield technical quality and international experience. Amir Al-Amari brings control and passing, while Aymar Sher adds another European-based midfield option. Youssef Amin gives the attack pace and promise. Iraq also carries the memory of past names like Ahmed Radi, Hussein Saeed, Yunus Mahmoud, and Nashat Akram, players connected to the country's football pride and unforgettable regional success. Under coach Graham Arnold, Iraq arrives with unity, belief, and a powerful emotional mission. The team has been through a long qualification journey, difficult pressure, and the weight of national expectation. But that makes the return feel even stronger. In 2026, Iraq arrives not only to play matches, but to remind the world that football can carry memory, resilience, and national healing. So when Iraq steps onto the pitch, remember this: you are not only watching 11 players, you are watching ancient Mesopotamia, the Tigris and Euphrates, strong tea, masgouf, sacred cities, cultural memory, 40 years of waiting, and the Lions of Mesopotamia carrying a nation's emotion onto the world stage. And that was one group from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Four countries, each carrying something different, different languages, different foods, different songs, different histories, different football dreams. This is what makes the World Cup beautiful. It is not only about who wins, it is about how the world gathers in one tournament. A flag becomes more than a flag, a team becomes more than 11 players, and a match becomes more than 90 minutes. Now, when you see these countries on the World Cup screen, they will not feel like simple names in a group. They will feel like places, like people, like cultures, like stories. And tonight you learned one more part of the World Cup,